Hey guys, and welcome back to the Terror Tales of LA podcast. I am your host, Adri Diaz. Normally, this is where my co-host Quentin Writings would come and introduce himself, but I've been reading the comments. I've been hearing the news circulating about how controversial Quentin can be sometimes, and so I took it upon myself to personally fire him and find a replacement. I recently bleached my eyebrows, so I'm in my bad bitch bleached eyebrow girly phase. So that's what that means. When I bleach eyebrows, that means no man are safe, okay? So I put out a Craigslist ad looking for a new co-host. The only description I put out was they be a white man, and if they love horror movies. The next movie that we were going to be talking about was actually the new movie that just came out, The Substance. And the only person who replied to my Craigslist ad was actually former President Donald J. Trump. He said
That's right, Adri.
Oh, my name's...
I had to get out there. I had to get the word out. It's an election year. It's time the people heard my takes on horror movies and things of that nature.
Actually, my name's Adri. Adri.
Tomato.
Okay. So, Donald J. Trump, you said you had a lot of opinions about The Substance. Did you like it?
As a man who spent many years judging female bodies, I felt right at home.
Uh-oh.
I love this movie.
You loved it. Okay, I also love this movie. I personally think it was one of my favorite movies of the year. I think it was better and scarier than Long Legs. I'll say it. Did you see Long Legs?
Yeah, I did. Both featured terrifying old women, hideous bodies. I did not care for that.
Okay. This may have been a mistake, but I already paid you to come in, so...
Yeah, you paid me. I have your Venmo. It's right here.
Yeah, the Venmo I sent you.
Mm-hmm.
I like that your Venmo is just the real Donald J. Trump.
69.
420.
Mm-hmm.
So, what have you been up to these days, Mr. Trump?
I'm mostly on the campaign trail.
Right.
When I'm not spending time with my formerly beautiful wife, Melania.
Oh, okay.
She's also getting up there. But thanks to new carbon freezing technologies, we've finally solved women's aging.
You've personally solved women's aging?
Mm-hmm.
Did the movie The Substance inspire you to find that?
No, I've been saying this for many years. Oh. I did it first.
Oh, you did it first?
I did it first.
Okay.
They stole it from me.
The Substance stole the idea of making older women younger from you.
Yes, making disgusting old women into beautiful young women again.
I wouldn't say that, but...
Hideous hags.
Oh, okay.
No longer.
Oh, okay. So anyways, you responded to the Craigslist ad. You said you had a lot of thoughts and opinions about the movie. And tell me what you think. You said you loved it. Who did you see the movie with?
I saw it with my baby son, Baron.
Okay.
He's currently a freshman at NYU.
Oh, wow. Congratulations.
I had to teach him how the world works. Gotta lock him down young.
Yeah, absolutely.
And seeing that substance on the screen, I thought the American people, they deserve it too. That's right. In 2025, I'm making The Substance.
Oh, okay. So you saw how the movie ends. I don't think it was necessarily a positive thing.
But we're not going to do that.
You're not going to do that?
No. Whereas they failed, we will succeed.
Oh, I see. Okay. So let's talk about the movie a little bit.
Because the film was made by a French woman, but
Oh.
it was made by an American, a man. It would have worked. It would have worked beautifully.
Okay, so let's talk about it. So if you haven't seen the movie, what the hell are you doing? Go see it. It is one of the best movies of the year. It is so surprisingly funny. I think that's actually what I really liked about it. It was pretty gruesome. It was pretty gnarly. No jump scares or anything, but it was surprisingly really funny. I really liked it. Did you find it funny at all?
I found it horrifying.
Oh.
When they showed us the hideous Demi Moore in the bathroom.
Oh, she is beautiful.
Just the ruins of her body.
Oh, no.
Just full of wrinkles and veins.
Okay, Mr. Former President, let's talk about the beginning. So, the very first opening shot is we see Elizabeth Sparkle's star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. And, I think it does a lot of great storytelling with that opening scene where you see people surrounding the star. They absolutely love it. And as time goes on, there's like a time lapse and no one comes to visit it anymore. And I think that's a great way to use storytelling. And
It's not as nice as my star. I also have one.
oh, you do have a star, don't you?
I do. It's much nicer, much bigger.
Oh, much bigger. I think they're all the same size.
No, mine's bigger.
I don't
More
think-
gold.
No, there's no more gold for you.
There certainly is.
Every
they
star-
Gave me, sir, they said, sir, we want you to have more. You're the best. You're the biggest star Tinseltown's ever seen. You deserve a big star.
Who's they? Who said?
I think you know who they are.
No, that's why I'm asking.
No, I think you. They run the media.
Oh, okay, Mr. Trump. I'm gonna stop you right there. Okay, we're gonna continue on. We find out who Elizabeth Sparkle is, and it's Demi Moore's character. She was an award-winning actress. She is now 50 years old, and she
Disgusting.
quit. Oh, God. Okay. Anyways. And we find out that, yes, Demi Moore was a award-winning actress, but now she is the host of like an aerobic exercise show. And it's her 50th birthday. And she goes into work. Everyone's wishing her a happy birthday. But she eventually gets fired on her birthday by none other than Dennis Quaid's character.
I would have fired her sooner.
Oh,
The minute she turned 40, she's out the door.
Mr.
Why wait? I don't see why.
Okay, sure. What did you think of Dennis Quaid's character?
Loved him.
Loved him. He was very funny in this.
He was a positive role model for all our young men. If you need guidance, you don't see many positive male role models in the media. This is one. I applaud his performance.
Mr. Trump, I think you're missing the whole joke of the movie. I think Dennis Quaid is supposed to be, he's like the CEO of the network of the show that she's on. And I think he is kind of the butt of the joke, that he doesn't kind of have any social awareness, that he's firing someone who's successful just because she got older.
I don't see the joke. I fail to see the humor in that.
Okay, I understand. So so Demi Moore's character, Elizabeth Sparkle, is having a shit day. On her 50th birthday, she gets fired. She gets into a car accident, and then she has to go to the hospital because she's slightly injured from the car accident. But then...
I've never been injured.
Okay.
Every doctor I've ever been to, they come up to me and say, sir, you've got a beautiful body.
They do not say that is not...
We've never seen anyone healthier.
That's not even legal, so I know that's not true.
We don't know how you do it. We want to study you for science.
They do not want to study you for science.
Hey, I'm not saying this. This is what they're telling me.
Who? Who's they?
Doctors. Many such doctors.
I really, really doubt that. You can't spew lies on this podcast, Mr. Trump.
Well, that's good, because I tell nothing but the truth.
I don't know about that.
Nothing but the truth.
So anyways, we're speaking about a woman right now, Elizabeth Sparkles, where she gets slipped a note by a beautiful young nurse there. Male nurse.
Disgusting.
No, that is not disgusting. Men can be nurses too.
This wouldn't happen in my America.
What wouldn't happen?
Male nurses, male teachers, male air stewardesses.
You can't even say stewardess anymore. It's flight attendants.
No, not in my America.
Oh my God.
We're bringing it back. We're bringing back what they were.
No.
They were stewardesses of the skies.
Not stewardesses of the sky.
The short skirts, the little pillbox hats, they're all coming back.
How are you worse than Quentin? I truly thought anyone would be better.
Moving along. We're moving on.
So she gets slipped a note that talks about. Do you remember exactly what it said on the note?
It'll change your life.
Yes, something like that. Like, call this number, it'll change your life. She kind of ignores it. She runs into an old high school friend who apparently had like a big crush on her, and he was so excited to see her. It was very
Classic
sweet.
beta male.
What, giving a woman a compliment?
He groveled. He was weak.
No, he was not weak. He was a normal guy who just said, "Oh my God, it's so good to see you."
He was a bald man, not like me. He wishes he had this much hair.
Mr. Trump, I think we all know what's going on underneath.
My illustrious mane.
I don't.
This mane was. I've heard from wig makers. They wanna, after I'm gone, they wanna study it.
No, no, they do not want to. Okay, a wig maker came up to you and said they want to study your hair after you die.
We need the proprietary technology to then make the world's best wigs. And I said, I'm never gonna die, but I thank you for the compliment.
I think there's been many videos where we could kind of tell that you are wearing a wig.
Fake news.
That's not fake news.
Fake news. It's AI. They're manipulating the people.
That is not AI, Mr.
It's
Trump.
coming from China.
No, it's not coming from
China. China are coming and they're giving the AI. They're trying to trick you.
Anyways, I think her running into an old high school friend kind of unlocked something in her, made her kind of reminisce about the days where she was like the it girl and she was super beautiful and super popular. And I think, as one thing I will say about this movie, I think it is the perfect depiction of a woman, how a woman feels, and especially in the industry. I think that really resonated with me, and I thought they did it perfectly.
And I thought it was...
No, don't even.
It seemed like an elaborate fantasy.
No, it was not a fantasy.
No man would ever react that way to an old woman.
Anyways, she ends up having to go to dinner alone on her birthday. How sad is that? That's like really sad.
I say it was appropriate.
For what reason?
She deserves to be alone. She is above the age of 40. And I think after that, women, you should go away.
Isn't your wife over 40?
Go away, woman.
Is your wife over 40?
She's on ice. She's never going to age a day.
You put her on ice? You put your wife on ice?
She's going to remain as beautiful as the day I welcomed her on my plane. When she was just a spry 18 years old.
Ew. Was she really 18?
I'm pretty sure I did.
That's what she said.
Let me just say, Mr. Trump doesn't check IDs.
Oh my God.
I ignore it. I take you at your word.
Okay. So anyways.
You're 18 in my heart, honey.
Oh, do not. Do not.
Do
not.
I will continue to do whatever I like.
Okay.
Audrey, I don't like your tone.
My name is Adri.
It's very mean, very nasty.
It's Adriana, but I go by Adri for short.
It sounds kind of ethnic.
It is. I'm Latina.
Oh, Latinos, Latinx. They keep changing up the name. They're trying to confuse you. They want to take your jobs and make you sign the wrong thing so they can cancel you.
What jobs am I taking from you?
TV host, podcast host, you name it.
You were literally hosting it with me, so how am I taking your job?
I could be doing this by myself. It'd be better even. It would be.
It's my podcast.
It would set the record for the biggest podcast audience ever.
Okay. Speaking of being pissed off, Elizabeth Sparkles has had enough. She calls the number that the nurse gave her, and they're essentially like, come to this place at this location, or like, come to this place. And do you remember kind of how that went? Do you want to elaborate a little bit?
They said, hey, you're disgusting.
No, they
You're
didn't
a
say
hag.
that. No, they didn't say that.
Come to this little tiny door. Crawl through it like you deserve. You should not be walking like a person. You crawl through. And you take this thing. You do it once. No more. No less. And then you get to be young and beautiful again. As God, our Christian God, intended.
Okay, and so what happens? She takes it home. It's like this whole process, right?
She does the substance. She does it once, injects it, and then she faints on the floor.
Yeah, I think.
And out pops a beautiful young woman.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, you are right about that. That is exactly what happens. Before going in, I did hear there was a lot of like body horror about this movie, and so her putting it in her vein really grossed me out.
I thought the horror was just Demi's body.
No. Oh yeah, we do get to see Demi completely naked in this movie.
Awful.
No, it was not awful. She's still so beautiful, gorgeous.
I tried to fast forward, but they wouldn't let me.
In the movie theater.
Yeah, I stood up. I said, "Hey, get that off my screen." And they said, "Sir, you have to sit down."
Good. I'm glad they told you that.
And I had that man thrown out.
Okay. I think she looked. I wasn't expecting her to be naked. I think there was only one other movie that she's ever done where she was naked, right?
When she was younger,
Yeah.
much better. Striptease. Me and my enemy, Bill Clinton, we both agree on this, though. She looked great in striptease.
I think she still looks great naked in the substance.
Wrong.
And that's not wrong. It's an opinion. You can't be wrong in
You
about
can
opinion.
you can 100% be wrong, and you are.
No.
Adri,
Adri.
don't keep testing me.
Yeah, so she takes the substance, and then there's this gruesome part where Margaret Qualley literally rips out from her back. And then we do also see a naked Margaret Qualley. And her name, we find out later, is Sue. And it's supposed to be
Adri, I'm going to stop you there. I was furious to learn weeks later, because I thought, look at this beautiful young woman.
Margaret Qualley.
Perky, large breasts. Tight butt.
Oh.
But it was fake.
It was fake?
Those breasts are not hers. They're prosthetics.
Oh, so I didn't
Proving
know
once
that.
again, women cannot wait to lie. You give them the minute you give them a chance, they're going to lie.
No, they are not. She probably didn't want to actually show her actual naked body for this.
I think she's embarrassed of her tiny titties.
There's nothing wrong with being part of the titty committee. The tiny titty committee.
Itty bitty titty committee.
Oh, sorry. You would know it better than me.
In my America, I'm having it disbanded.
No.
In 2025, there'll be no more itty bitty titty committee.
Say that again.
In 2025, there'll be no more itty bitty titty committee.
So, as president, if you become president again, you were going to make every woman get breast implants?
That is my promise. The American taxpayer has suffered for too long.
No.
Staring at flat chests.
No.
On their waitresses. On their wives. On their air hostesses.
Hey, excuse me? That's the one thing you can't say, mister. Okay? I know you're distracted by my bleached eyebrows, but if you actually look down, that's the one thing you can't say. Got some big old heavy hangers.
It is. I regret to agree with you, Adri.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Mr. President. That's the only time I'll say thank you.
You do have heavy hangers. Classic American.
But I am Latina.
You're one of the only. This is the new wrinkle of border security. At the borders, anyone with big milkers, welcome to America.
I'm not from Mexico. My dad is, but I'm not.
All immigrants. If
I'm
you
not
have
an immigrant.
big naturals, you can come in. You can come in. But little mosquito bites, hit the bricks.
So that's all it takes to fix the border patrol problem for you. Quotations problem.
It's a start.
Okay, so I actually didn't know that. I didn't know she was wearing prosthetic. If she also wearing a prosthetic butt. Because the one thing I will say though, Margaret Qualley is beautiful, but she did have a little bit of a flat ass. That butt was pretty flat.
The classic problem of the white woman.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, and that's
On this we can agree.
This we can agree, Mr. Trump, that white women do have flat asses.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But moving on.
Of course,
This is Sue. Margaret Qualley plays Sue.
Sue comes in. She takes the position of Elizabeth Sparkle's job. Immediately.
Takes her job. Improves it.
Mm-hmm.
Makes it much better, much hotter.
I wouldn't say it was better. It was just,
I would say it's much better.
Why?
More skimpy. The only thing I could have thought to make it better is if it was a beauty contest of some kind. Like I did. At one point, we had the most beauty queens in the world.
Who did?
America.
Okay.
They were part of Miss America, which I owned. And I ran it well. And then the Democrats took over. And now...
That's not how it works.
And now American beauty queens can't even win anymore. It's always someone from China.
No, stop saying China like that.
Or Africa. Or some other one of those places. I'm not saying where.
Don't say where. Just.
But we all know.
We don't know. No, we don't know. We don't all have sick minds like you.
Make Miss America great again. That's all. I'll leave it at that.
So, anyways.
Sue, big hit, massive hit.
Big hit, and part of the substance is Elizabeth Sparkle has like this like feeding tube like while she's.
When you get put under,
oh yeah, there's
they
rules.
hook you up to a tube.
Yeah, there's rules. Can you explain the rules a little bit?
You each get 7 days.
Mm-hmm.
And you get hooked up to the tube.
Mm-hmm.
And then the younger one has to take a little bit of fluid from her back.
Mm-hmm.
Very disgusting. That bony, knobby back.
Nope.
And then she sticks it in her leg. But then 7 days isn't enough.
Yeah, then...
Because why would you want to go back to that disgusting hag body when you can have a young hit TV show body?
Sure, I get that.
I don't know why.
When they switch out 7 days, Elizabeth Sparkles comes back, and then it's supposed to be like Sue is supposed to be kind of... They're supposed to be the same person, essentially.
They share DNA.
They share DNA.
And maybe to some extent consciousness.
Yes.
Well, we don't know. It's never really explained.
It's never really explained.
It's left up to an audience interpretation.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And Elizabeth Sparkles keeps being reminded of like, damn, it like really sucks when I'm older. I'm not being treated as well as when I was the young version of myself. And so whenever Sue comes back after her 7 days, she starts breaking the rules a little bit. And she stays a little longer than she's supposed to. Like, she doesn't switch the bodies back because she wants to keep living that young, beautiful life. Which, again, Demi Moore I think Margaret Qualley is so beautiful. I think she's so hot. But even Demi Moore, at the age of 50, I was still just so distracted about how beautiful Demi Moore is. Like, I almost felt like Margaret Qualley wasn't hot enough to be Demi Moore, in my opinion.
And I disagree.
Sure, we could disagree on that. I understand. But I think Demi Moore is so insanely gorgeous. I cannot with her.
Once upon a time, she was.
And I still think she is.
No more.
Yeah. Yes, more. Just because we age does not mean...
I like to call her Demi Less.
No.
Demi, less time on my screen.
I'm mad that that's clever. I'm mad that that's clever, Mr. Trump. You are quick-witted. I will give you that. Have you ever considered doing the roast battle?
I would
at the Comedy Store.
If they'd only invite me, I'd happily make an appearance.
Okay.
It's something that I would strongly consider.
Okay. All right. I mean, you've done like the big actual roast.
I've had a debate.
Yeah. You've done a debate. Yeah, that is kind of like a roast battle a little bit, if you think about it.
I destroyed Crooked Hillary. Where's she now? Walking in the woods. We'll never see her again.
She's not walking in the woods.
She lost and walked in the woods.
How
Never
do you know
came
this?
back.
How do you know this?
Social media.
Social media
I'm
said
seeing it on social media.
that she's just walking in the woods.
She lives there now. We didn't let her back in society.
She does not just live there. There is definitely
It's
interviews.
where she belonged. Crooked Hillary couldn't send her to jail, so we sent her to the woods.
Okay. So whenever it's Elizabeth's time to come back, she starts binge eating, and we're starting to see some of that like gruesome like horror. Like she's kind of like really going through it when she is her old self again.
It was awful.
It was awful because it was just sad and it's relatable.
When a man does it, it's okay.
No, it's not okay when a man does it.
It's giving fuel to your body. You need that.
So it's okay for a man to eat, but for a woman, it's disgusting.
I couldn't have said it better myself, Adri.
No, do not quote me on that. I was asking you as a question. That's what you think.
That was a very astute point.
No. Okay, you keep interrupting me, so why don't you just take it away, Mr. Trump? Keep the storyline going.
So Margaret Qualley, Sue, rightfully starts taking more days from disgusting Demi Less.
Stop calling her disgusting.
He takes her days, and he turns her into an awful, even older hag.
Yeah, so every time she
looked like
back,
Gollum. She looked like the little creature from Lord of the Rings.
She did. She really did, and I really liked that like campy horror element to it. It was so fun to see her more and more gross. Ew! And then there was that one scene. I can't remember if it was a dream sequence, but like she pulls the chicken wing out of her belly button. Do you remember that?
I think it was implied to be a dream sequence.
Yes, I think it was a dream sequence.
Yes.
And I had a friend, my friend Carlos. You don't know him. But he said that
I don't like the sound of his name.
No, Mr. President.
I'm
Mr.
already
Former President.
I'm already future president.
No.
I'm already very suspicious.
Do not be suspicious. He is a nice guy, a funny guy I work with. He's done the podcast before. And he said when he saw that in the movie theaters that he like gagged. He said it really grossed him out when she pulled the chicken wing out of her belly button.
I was more disgusted by Demi's eating.
No.
Don't put that on my screen. Take it off.
Did you know what the movie was going to be about before you went in?
No, like all things, I went in blind.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
I don't like spoilers, so I just went into a movie. It was a nice matinee. And I was pleasantly surprised. I did not come out expecting to be inspired.
Right. Inspired you to make the substance.
It's coming, people. We're having the substance.
It is very funny.
More and more people are saying this.
It's very funny how you essentially didn't get the moral of the story. And so you took it upon yourself to make the substance. And in the movie, it proves that.
That's where you're wrong. People are always saying, sir, you have the most morals.
No. Who said that?
No one has ever had more morals than you, sir.
Who said that?
You are the most morally upstanding man I've ever met.
Who said that?
People.
What? Which people?
Strong men come up to me.
Strong men come up to you.
And say, with tears in their eyes.
No, they do not.
They reach out with trembling little hands and say, sir, you are my light. You're my shining star.
I mean, that probably is true. You do have a crazy fan base.
Crazy? No. Sane.
They're a little crazy. They're comparing you to the next Jesus Christ.
That's where they're wrong. If anything, I'm bigger. I'm a little more pip. I'm a little more popular. He was a good guy. Had some hits. But I'm just a little better. I'm just a little better.
You're saying you're better than Jesus Christ.
Not by much. Just a little.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So let's get to the end of it, because the ending was my absolute favorite. It was such a fun ending. Oh, it was so good. So essentially Sue gets to host a New Year's Eve show for the network that she's working for. And she's very excited, but she has to switch back to the old version on that date. So what does she do?
She, unfortunately, runs out of the little plasmas.
Mm-hmm.
So she has to wake Demi Moore up.
Mm-hmm.
But Demi Moore, she's dead. Margaret killed her.
How did she kill her?
Thank God. She rocked her shit.
Mr. Trump, that's actually a common phrase we use here. She really did get her shit rocked.
She did us all a service and got Demi Moore out of the movie.
She kills her. She obliterates her.
But being a woman, she didn't look ahead. She didn't plan.
we do not need to involve her gender in this at all.
Women.
No.
Not good at planning.
It was a pretty gnarly kill. We have that scene, that famous scene where Demi's dragging her body across the house, which, by the way, a lot of energy for being an old, gross person at this point. And then she's about to kill her, but then she's like, fuck, like, what do I do? Do I want to, like, I want to keep living this way.
She can't go back. She
Can't
can't go back to being an awful, awful old woman.
Yeah, the thing is, too, is, like, I think there was this...
And she was right, too. She understood.
There was a
the first right thing she did the whole movie.
It's just sad because she is now realizing that because of the substance, she herself has gotten more old and gross, and she kind of now has
Wrong. She already was.
No, she has this newfound appreciation of how she looked at the beginning of the movie, you know? And it's just, like, sad. And so she's, like, realizing this, that she really fucked herself over. Margaret Qualley's character, Sue, wakes up, right? And then...
She gives her the shot of life. But now they're two people again.
Yes.
Now they're awake at the same time.
Yes, exactly. And then my favorite...
And Sue is rightfully mad. And Margaret, rightfully so, rocked his shit, took back her power, and got rid of that horrible woman. But then, because she can't plan, she did not plan for this, then she's got no more spine juice.
So she can't keep staying young and beautiful.
And we can't have that.
Can't have that. So she goes to the show, like the boss bitch that she is. She goes to the show because she's like, I'm not letting a little murder stop me from hosting this New Year's Eve show. And one of my favorite scenes ever is while she's there, she's realizing that because she doesn't have the plasma, because she doesn't have the substance anymore, her body is like literally falling apart. And she realizes she needs to leave because she does not look the way she does, and she like runs into the elevator, and this man joins her in the elevator, and I thought it was a perfect depiction of how men perceive women, because he didn't even like realize her body was falling apart. He was just more like, oh, excited for the show? Oh, you look great. Like, you know, like men are just so in their head. And then he like leaves the elevator and he's just like, all right, see ya, you know. Like, it's so perfectly executed. I thought that was a great joke.
What was that, Adri? I wasn't listening.
I know you probably weren't.
I was thinking how nasty she looked without her little teeth.
Oh yeah, her teeth start falling out.
And
her
her
ears falling.
And her fingernails.
It was so funny. And then to wrap it all up, she becomes this disgusting, gross, like, it reminded me a lot of The Fly.
Ella Monstra Sue. It's a portmanteau of their both names. They combined them into one big name, one awful name.
And then we see...
And they scared the children. There were children in the audience, little precious angels.
Yeah, so she comes back on stage. We see Demi Moore's face, like, on her back. She's, like, completely morphed and gross, and it was so funny. And then, how does the blood spew again?
Another piece of body falls off.
A piece of her body falls off.
Starts spraying the poor audience, spraying the little babies.
Yeah, spraying blood everywhere. It was so great. I loved how long it was. It was such a long sequence, and it was so funny. Everyone's just getting sprayed with blood in the audience.
And
they just kept going.
And the audience was rightfully furious at her.
Yeah, I'd be mad
They
too.
said, look at this monster. We should get her. And they were right to.
Yeah. It became
Everyone
like a
knows,
monster mob thing.
Everyone knows mobs are always right.
Oh.
If that many people thinking at once, how could they possibly be wrong?
This makes me think a little bit of January 6th.
I wasn't there. I did not. I asked them for nothing. They did it. All those brains thought of it themselves.
Well, I would argue and say you kind of manipulated them into thinking.
I would never. I love my American citizens. These true patriots. They formed a committee. They thought about it, and they made a decision. I had nothing to do with this. Was it the right decision? Yes. But I had nothing to do with it. So poor Monstra Ella Sue is starting to fall apart.
Mm-hmm.
And then she explodes.
Then well, before she explodes, I thought it was a great tribute to the very opening first scene where she becomes like this blob. She explodes, she becomes this blob, and she kind of, scoots her way back to her star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. And then she just dies there, and it's really sad.
Yes, it seems to be a comment on chasing immortality and the fleeting nature of fame and outside validation.
Yeah.
Obviously, it had nothing to do with me because this would never happen to me. I live forever, and everyone will remember me for always.
Do you really think you're gonna live forever?
I'm going to live forever, and everyone will always love me. They're never gonna make a better human than me. This is it. I'm as good as it's gonna get.
So what I gather is you learned nothing from The Substance.
I learned the substance is coming to your home in 2025. So rejoice, all you horrible, horrible old women. You can be young again. I'm going to make it happen. You're welcome.
How does your wife feel about this?
I don't know. She's still on ice. But I know in my heart, if I were to give her the substance, Melania would be thrilled.
You think so?
She'd be over the moon.
Okay. So how would you rate this movie if you could rate it?
I'd give it 5 fake titties out of 5 fake titties.
Wait, so where's the 6th titty at?
It's somewhere else on the body of the horrible, horrible creature.
Okay. Yeah, honestly, I absolutely love this movie. I thought it was so fun. It was so unexpectedly funny. I was laughing the whole time. I was engaged. I was grossed out. There wasn't any jump scares, and I don't mind. I don't need my horror movies to have a jump scare. I like leaving with like a lesson or a moral.
I like my horror atmospheric. I watch films emotionally. I don't need logic. Logic only gets in the way.
Okay, I'm sure you do believe that, yeah. Yeah, I honestly, if I were to rate it on Adri tomatoes, not Audrey tomatoes.
Who is this?
Me, your co-host, Adri. If I were to rate it on Adri tomatoes, I would honestly give it, oh God, dare I even say a 99%. I absolutely love this movie. I am going to go see it again. I thought it was so, so good. And again, it resonated a lot with me, especially as a woman in the industry. It made me have anxieties about my immortality and when I get older and how people and men are going to view me. And that's actually why I bleached my eyebrows. I saw The Substance, bleached my eyebrows, fired Quentin because I was feeling real fucking rowdy. I was feeling real rowdy after this movie. Do you like my bleached eyebrows, Mr. Former President?
As you know, I'm a big fan of blonde.
Oh, I gotta dye them back. I gotta dye them back. I truly thought you would hate them because I do feel like it kind of gives me like a little alien look. But if you like them, Mr. Trump, I need to dye them back.
There should be more blondes. There should be more blonde in the world. Because it's the color of gold. And we all know the nicest thing you can have is gold. It's the color of class. It's the color of class.
Mr. Former President.
And future.
I don't think I'm going to vote for you in November.
That's okay. We all know you can't.
Oh, yes, I can. I am a legal citizen.
I'd have to see your papers. I'd have to ask.
I was literally born in California.
I don't believe you.
Why don't you believe me? Because I have a Latin name because I'm Latin?
Because you seem shifty.
How do I seem shifty?
Your eyes are always darting around.
They're not darting. They're just looking normal.
Frantically scanning the horizon.
No, it's not. They are so normal. My eyes are normal. They're normal eyes. Maybe they look a little buggish because I don't have any eyebrows right now, but they're normal. I'm not shifty. You're shifty. Why are you not even wearing a red tie? Why are you wearing a black tie? You always wear a red tie.
I wore it because there's a funeral happening. A funeral for the campaign for my old enemy, Sleepy Joe. Couldn't hack it. He was too old. That's what they're saying. Not like you, sir. You're young and you're full of energy.
No, who says that?
Everyone.
No, they do not. You are the worst human ever. Do you know that? You are the worst.
Rest in peace, Sleepy Joe.
I am not voting for
I'll
you.
smell you later.
I'm not voting for you. And honestly, you can no longer be my co-host.
Oh, you're trying to fire me?
I am firing. Hey, you're fired as my co-host.
You're fired.
No, you're fired.
I'm gonna say you're fired.
You're fired.
You
are
are fired.
fired. You're fired.
You're fired.
You're fired. This is my podcast. I'm firing you. You're
I'm
fired.
taking over. Well, everyone tune in next week.
No, you're not.
to
Do
Terror
not,
Tales of
do
Los
not do an
Angeles,
outro to
the
my
pod-
podcast. Do not do an outro.
No longer
I am
featuring
bringing
Adri
Quentin back.
Diaz.
No, my name is Adri. God damn it. You do not do
The
an
show's
outro.
only getting better. I'll be hosting it solo.
No, you will not be. No, you will not.
Terror Tales of LA. We're making it great again. We're making it
Terror
great
Tales of
again.
LA.
We're making it great
Make
again.
Terror Tales of LA great again.
Yes.
No.
God knows it needs to be. God knows it should be.
Nope.
But it's not.
Okay, no, I am
It's not.
hiring Quentin back. I'm hiring my co-host because even though he was a little problematic, at least he listened to me. Okay. That's a man.
What?
He listens to women. Oh, leave.
I'm going, and actually, I'm choosing to leave.
No, you're not. Like, I'm making you leave. So you're fired.
I'm choosing to leave of my own volition. It is in my best interest to go now. So goodbye.
Yeah, I'm firing you. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Miss Diaz.
Diaz, are you having a stroke? What's happening? It's Adri Diaz.
Adri Diaz.
No, leave. Get up.
Goodbye.
And leave. Yeah, goodbye.
Goodbye.
Leave.